So following up on answering viewer questions as far as the numbers go for the garden. Sorry, I don't have one of those newfangled Google phones where I can delete background sound. Right, we've got across the garden from the neighbour's wall right the way across is the same as the back. It's 9.5 meters, I think it was. And then from the gate to the back of the wall, I think it was 7.4 meters. Those composters are going over there because the fig tree is going to go over there, the bin's going to go in a box over there, so that is going to be organized and tidied up. As far as the front garden goes, you know, we've got a mix of edibles and ornamentals. We've got a mix of evergreens, and to tell you what, that salad burnet has been evergreen, and so have the campanula in this garden anyway. But we've got a mix of, like, there's some of the primroses are flowering, we've got hyacinths and tulips coming up, we've got the daylilies, we've got all sorts of mix of plants. All the herbaceous perennials have got buds on them and are coming up nicely with the spring. I have given the wisteria a good trim back. That fence and the wisteria has made, plus all the plants put in here, a humongous difference for wind barriers in the front garden. The circular path around the square pergola has made a huge difference to expanding the size of the garden to make it look bigger than it actually is. I've put the 2 composters given to me by a friend in between the plants there, and that's where they will stay because the composters are going from that corner. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 tubs, 5 tubs in the front garden for growing other vegetables that I don't want in the ground, but I can grow in the front garden. And look at the camellia. Obviously it needs a bit of a tidy, the deadheading, but isn't it just beautiful? Such lovely flowers, and especially against that blue tub at the back. Just wonderful. The hydrangeas are sprouting, the honeyberries, but they're going because the quince tree, one of the quince tree, I can't remember whether I thought I was going to put it in there or somewhere else, but I need to put it here because the fig is going around the corner, so the quince has got to go in there. And to be honest, we never really get fruit off the honeyberries, and when we do, they're blimmin' awful. They're nasty. I loved the bright red stems, but I think I haven't cut them back hard enough every year to get the bright stems for the ornamental side of it. The honeyberries are going. I mean, the birds like it to perch in, and that's fine because they're pooping and fertilizing the soil where they perch. But I want the quince closer to the no, maybe not closer to the house. The root ball might be too big. I don't know. Maybe I'll move, when I take the honeyberry out, I'll move the composter right by the rose so the rose can get more nutrients from the composting compost, and then I'll put the quince there, and I'll find something else to put over there. Yep, around the pergola we're going to be putting clematis because the passion flower is going. It completely takes over and cuts out all the light from the garden. So we are going to replace that with a rambling rose, so that we could make it more bushy instead of leggy at the bottom and then over the top. Or maybe we could get climbing and make it a canopy at the top but light coming in through the sides. The bird bath is going to be moved because we want to put a water feature, not a bird bath, a water feature in here somewhere. We do want a proper water feature, but I also want a table and chairs seating area, a little bistro table and chairs. I would love a little seating area in there, and then a water feature maybe somewhere else. Not sure, but anyway, that's what we're planning for the front. The garden is, as you know from other videos, I'll put a link into the other videos. I'll make a playlist of since we started the front garden, maybe, because it was absolutely nothing. So everything you see has been bought in and built up over the time with wood chips and compost and anything else that we could find that we could pile on the ground to build upwards, because there was no topsoil when we started. I just couldn't believe it. And I mean, it looks a bit bare now, but compared to what it was when we first moved into this house, where there was absolutely nothing but a small little round garden in the middle with that one rose and that was it. The rest was all weeds and moss and the grass struggling to get through, and about 2 inches of soil on top of gravel and hardcore and clay. That was it. So over the years that we've been in this house, since 2015, it's become more of a cottage garden, and this year we look to be adding more cottage garden plants. Like I've got hollyhocks that I saved seed from in that corner, and I will be adding quite a few more cottage garden plants that I absolutely love. And unfortunately most of them are annuals or biennials, but I think it's worth the extra effort, even though most of the things in this garden usually have to be perennial, because perennial or self-seeding annuals and biennials, because of the slugs. And I mean, with all the mulch, there's nothing you could do about the slugs. The blackbirds eat the snails, so I'm happy to feed them, but we don't have frogs or hedgehogs or anything like that in the front garden to eat the slugs. And to be honest, because of the main road, I don't want them in the front garden because they'll just end up dead. Forgive the audio, please. I don't have my microphone on me. Right, so the weather. This the front garden faces north there, west there, and east over that way. So we get the full force of all weathers from the west. And there's that exposed open green in front of the house, so we're completely exposed. And in the summer we get the hottest of the temperatures, up to, last year we had one day of up to 38 degrees C, but not for long. It was only for about an hour or so. Usually it doesn't get any more. The hottest we had was 35, 36 degrees. I'm sure we've had a little bit higher one day, but that's the worst of it. And the sun comes over this side of the house for the longest period of the day. And in the winter, it's the front that gets quite a bit more frost. It's a harder frost in the front garden because it's more exposed. And we've had down to -4. I don't think on the street and in this house, we've had less than -4. In the front garden. When it rains, and when it rains torrentially, because it feels like it, because it just runs down the road, it comes off the neighbor's garden into ours, floods this part of the garden completely, and it's just a puddle. But as soon as the rain stops, within a couple of hours it's completely drained out, which is weird because considering the ground we had to start with. Obviously all the soil that we've piled on over the years and grown, and all the plants in the ground and the roots have obviously loosened up the ground underneath, so it doesn't stay flooded for long when it rains like that. It's very, very cold right now. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking. It's freezing. It's supposed to be spring, and it is, because the buds and blossoms are coming everywhere. But oh my days, I'm so done. We've had the longest, wettest, dampest, cold autumn, winter, and into spring. We're done with it now. We're ready for a warm spring and a lovely summer. Oh. Anyway, I've got to go inside. I can't film out here any longer. It's too cold and I've only got a jumper on my top. A couple of mornings later, because chaos reigns, of course. Not for long. But as far as the front garden goes, that is my little bit of almost natural gardening. I'm sorry if the volume's quiet because I'm trying to speak softly and not wake up little ones. I have to edit this bit out and I'm going to have to hurry up. Front garden is, as I've said in previous videos, the front garden is a little bit of loosely informal, and therefore cottage garden, and I've spoken about that in other videos. So if you want to check them out, just go back to the last 2 years. I think I've mentioned it again. The front garden is also to show some beauty for passers-by, to lift somebody's day. So if they walk by and they see the very, very bright blue fence, which is desperate for painting, with all the algae and the wet weather, there's no point doing anything until we get at least a proper dry week and I can get some Algon, natural algae killer on all the surfaces and clean them off and then paint them and refresh them. So hopefully by the time spring is here, obviously it's here, but it's not obvious. By the time it's here, obviously, and we get at least a dry week, then I shall do that with the fencing. And there's still the prettying up of the fencing I've been wanting to do since the fence went up. And put those lovely blue glass beads, and I want other coloured ones. I want multicolors like stained glass. So I'm going to find all the different colours I need to pretty up that fence, because that's what I've always wanted, and I'm going to do it. And of course, other than I've shown you in the video, there's still the arches to put up over the, well, it won't be arches, it'll be more like pergola. I think we're going to try and use scaffolding poles. I would love to use wood, but it's expensive. Yeah, all that algae. I mean, the pergola, looking at it out the window now, that pergola is green, and it'll just keep the moisture in the wood. So that needs drying, cleaning, and treating to make it last. The scaffolding poles, it's not a natural material, so it doesn't always fit in a cottage garden when you want wood and stone in a cottage garden to make it more natural. But it's also a make-do one. And if that's all we can afford and would be sturdy and last long enough, then that's what we're going to have to do. We'll see. I don't know yet. Well, we're making all these plans, but we haven't got the budget just yet. I'm still busy working on that. The electrics for the workshop's got to come first. Front garden, I want it to be our little bit of magic. So we've still got to put up fencing and gates on that one side by the composters, on the side by the handrails. We've got to put fencing and we've got to put gates there so that it'll make it safe for the younger children, so and for buttons, so they don't wander off out to the road. And then it's a nice enclosed space, and we want the water features, and we want some ornaments, and we want a table and chairs just to make it a living space, because a garden must be the extension of the home. It must be a garden room so that it has interest and magic and wonder for those coming past, and the plants and the flowers and the beauty and the scents, the aromas. It's got to be a beautiful place as well as functional. And I should really be putting that same idea into the house. I'll be doing that with the sorting out of the house. So that's what I'll be working on the front garden. That's the aim and that's the goal. And you'll see that happen as you pop into the channel. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to all, and then you'll know as soon as I post a video, you'll get a notification, even if it's not as regular as I'd like it to be. As you know, I've got quite a lot on. I am going to create and post videos as often as I possibly can, even if it's not as regular. And we're still working on that mindset thing, seriously. Don't forget to like the video as well, that really helps. Welcome to lovely new subscribers. You're so welcome here. I really appreciate your support, and all of those of you who are still stuck with me, and the viewers who aren't subscribed but still keep popping in, as well as all the subscribers. You're all wonderful, and you make this really worth it. Next video will be homemaking one to do with the bathroom that I've been telling you all about. We got the bathroom done, finally. On not so much of a shoestring for us, but for other people it probably will, because it came in at around £120 to do everything, but it's worth it. So I'll show you when you see that video. And then on the other channel, I've been posting the first things first priority self-reliance stuff. So if you want to pop over to that channel as well, I'd really appreciate it. Share it, like it, and help me build up a following on there. If it's not something you're interested in, because obviously I've kept this channel separate to that one, so that those who only want to know about the home and garden come here, and those who want to know about self-reliance can go there, because not everybody wants everything. So I'm trying to be a bit more specific. And as usual, I would appreciate your input onto what more you'd like to see. I do still have a few more viewer questions to answer, so I'll cover those as soon as I can. I'll be focusing on just how I'm going through this year, because everything is so topsy-turvy. We've had, between the washing machine sprung a leak and needed a hose changing, to clearing out, to the windows and the walls on the landing getting totally wet and clearing out all the mold and the damp, and then the bathroom leak and sorting out the bathroom renovation, and we've still got to do the stair carpets, and so I will be squeezing in everything I possibly can and sharing it with you in the appropriate places and times. I thank you for your support, and I love you guys so much for sticking it out with me. You've been great, because this is as basic as I can get it. All right, lovelies, you have a good week, and I'll speak to you soon.